took away from the values session was that it's actually that my values chose me long before I chose it. And it gave me enough time to realize that it's a gift to me. And if I can unwrap it well in terms of how I do things and, you know, go with it where it's leading me, I can inspire others to find their values and see it as a gift and share it with the world. And literally, you know, that's one award no one can take from us. And that's well worth it, my why, as to doing anything I want to do and I'm doing.
Top takeaway from the values module is thinking consciously about my delegates' values when I'm doing a training session. So thinking about actually verbalizing that, getting them to think about their values and also about valuing their time. So I really like that idea of thanking the delegates at the end, but also getting them to think about their well-being at the end of the session. I think it's a really nice way to round things off and hopefully send them on the way after the session feeling really good about themselves.
Top takeaway from the value session is similar to what has been said before, and it's that we're valuable as facilitators when we're in the room. We're not just there to deliver information, but also the individuals that we're talking to and having those sessions with, they're not just individuals, they're all valuable within their own right, regardless of their opinions, where they come from. You know, everyone in that room is valuable and deserves to be heard.
Away from the values section was that it's been really important to me to be values led in decision making when choosing organizations and to work for, and that's often informed the decisions I've made in terms of what jobs I take and supporting my teams. However, the part which quite resonated most with me of the value section was valuing ourselves. And I realized that I can talk a good talk about emotional resilience with my staff team and people I support, and really go out of my way to support others' well-being, but I wasn't doing it myself. And to be truly authentic and values led, I needed to start taking better care of myself, and that's been a real sort of switch on in the last year of sort of going, you need to slow down, and I've dropped down to part-time and things like this, and there's a lot more to do. But that section really kind of resonated with me and said, you know what, to be authentic to the people that you're supporting and talking to through these sessions, it's really important that, you know, we value ourselves, and that way it can lead to others taking the time for themselves. So really role modeling that.
My top takeaway from values is I've learned that I would only be comfortable ever delivering something of that is passionate to myself. So when tech lets me down, like it does 364 days of the year, I am able to just to confidently be able to facilitate, and it would always be in my truth. And I don't feel like I would be concerned of any like questions that's thrown at me that's taking me off guard, because it will always come from a good place. And hopefully I'd be able to, in delivering what is passionate to me, through lived experience especially, would always be helpful to others, and it will help them engage and share their values too. So.
Top takeaway from values is really thinking about how being led by your values can be quite scary. You have to be quite brave to make yourself vulnerable and show people your values. But I think if you practice it, it becomes easier and more comfortable, and also gives people permission to live their values too, which is valuable for everyone.
Was a little bit of everything, because I think it's everything connected. Also valuing myself in this way, I'm able to make a value-led decision and bring my why. So literally, I've been taking away everything from each section of the module.
Takeaway from the values module is to be more mindful of my values on a day-to-day basis, because actually having thought about values, I realized that I'm not mindful enough about them. So being more mindful, I think, will help me just to be more me, and that will help me also to be more at ease and more authentic as I'm facilitating.
Away from the values session was the realization of the difference it can make to the training when you get delegates to consider their values. Because although I've done training for a lot of years and I've always linked it to organizational values, I'd never got the delegates to think about their own values in that way as well.
Away from the values module is reinforcing that, you know, when we take a trauma-informed approach, we don't have to only think about it in terms of the service users, but also the delegates are reinforcing self-care and making sure that you're giving them access to support or services that they can go and look for afterwards, and overwhelmed by the training we're delivering.
My key takeaway from the values module is really realizing how values-led training and values themselves are really that golden thread showing up throughout in every aspect of the training, and how it actually sort of embeds automatically when we have passion and understanding and love for the content of the training that we deliver.
Away from the values session, it was an interesting one for me because I went into this session thinking, well, I know exactly what my values are. I live by my values day by day, make decisions by my values. But there was a video that was played to us with a piece of music, and one line struck out at me, and it said, "You can learn from your pain." And I realized at that moment, through getting quite emotional, that the course I'm going to be delivering is me learning from my pain, and hopefully helping others to realize how they can help others, and how everybody's values can come and when the stars align, the difference that it can make to other people is quite astounding. So I was quite emotional from last week for a number of reasons, but yeah, an absolute great light bulb moment for me.